Hello and welcome to the Evil
I'm back.
Hour, the all things survival horror podcast, including our experiences, thoughts, and hot takes. We're your hosts.
Right.
This guy over here, his name is,
Oh, I'm Ratatrophic.
and
I
I'm
always say
Sean
that.
Graves.
Ratatrophic. Sorry.
Ratatrophic. And in today's episode, we'll be discussing seeing the gaming industry where it's at and what we think or how we feel the gaming industry will be growing in the future.
Absolutely.
So, first and foremost, introductions aside, shout out to the moderators, the subscribers, the followers, everyone who is here listening. We will shout out as we go along, and we also invite you into the conversation. Any in-house news, Ratatrophic?
Well, besides what I've been playing, well, actually, that's pretty much it, is we've been playing a new horror game called Happy Humble's Burger Farm, which I'm excited to get back in.
Loved it.
It was fun, honestly, and people were having a great time. We were betting channel points. And oh my god, it was a great time. I'm glad. It's a game I always wanted to play, but it was like $20. And not that I don't think the game is worth $20, but it was on sale for $3. And I was like, this is my chance to play it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and everybody was loving it. So besides that, honestly, nah. I mean, just the normal live streaming stuff.
Yeah. I'm still on the Silent Hill 2 runs. Yeah, right now we are collecting all the things. And I have set it up to where now all I have to do is get the Maria ending, and then we're kosher. We have all the endings. We have all the bonus endings. And we just cleared out all the bronze what do you call them? Achievements?
Yeah, achievements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on this run, we should get all the silver ones done and start ticking up on all the gold ones. So
boy.
Yeah, that is. Oh, hello. What is up, dude? Oh, my eyes are like playing with me. Oh no.
Hey, it's the grind though. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
thank you for still tuning in. Thank you for still tuning in while dealing with all that.
Yeah, for sure.
Get better soon though.
Degree Fahrenheit? Oh my gosh. It's not even August yet.
It's not. But it is coming up on spring, and that's when people also get sick though. All the pollen and everything. The earth.
Dude, Mother Earth has it out for me. I'm gonna just say that right now. I'm not ready for it.
Man. Oh, I am, just because what I've been talking to you about, my little side project.
Right.
Next month, brother, man. Oh, shit. Next month, brother, man. I clicked on the wrong thing. I get out of this.
Fine.
I already broke my fucking Discord.
Oh.
Well, I get out of it. Oh, shit. There you go. We're good.
We good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
I accidentally clicked on your screen. Just went.
You're fine. You're okay. No worries. So, Ratatrophic.
Yeah.
Seeing the gaming industry as you were growing up, how do you feel like it's grown and like things that you didn't think were going to be possible, but like are possible?
Well, let's get on the first topic, which is how do I think it has grown? And just like any other podcast we have done, I'm going to have to bring it up, man, because it was such a great success. And a lot of people are amazed how great of a success it was. Silent Hill 2. Think about the first time when you first played that game.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics were phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? At the time. And we're talking 2001 here. That shit was scary. And the thing that I love about PlayStation 2 horror games and classic horror games like that is the one thing that was very relatable. At first, when I heard it, I was like, I don't really see it. And then when I seen it, or now over time that I see it, I'm truly believing in it. And a lot of people say because of the graphics of the classic consoles horror games, is the reason why they were more scarier than what they really were. And 110% when they're all pixelated and you don't know what's going on, but your brain's just imagining stuff. But at the time, it was so realistic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It made it even more crazier. And with that being said, so let's take the 2001 Silent Hill 2 thing. You know, like that game was ahead of its time and it just looked amazing. I mean, I remember when I played it when I was a kid. And then you go in today's time and the remake. And when you see the remake and how different of graphics it changes and everything, and how stuff you can see more visible within the game, it just blows my mind. I mean, so that's where I kind of see the future is this kind of like, okay, so you got this retro game, but at the time it was peak.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a retro. And now they just revise that game. And now this like what the game looks like now is what it looked like to me back on the PlayStation
Back in
2
the day, yeah.
Absolutely. And so now when you see it, it's like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, oh man. My first like console gaming, there's a bunch of so Wild Bunny was saying,
dude, itch.io is great for horror games, yes.
That I forgot the game series name, but it consists of like 5 to 7 short horror stories that are pixelated, and it's really cool. There's also Sniper Killer, which is where my Discord PFP comes from. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I remember when what's that game called? It's a very old pixelated game, but it got I think it's called I'm Scared. I'm Scared.
I love I'm Scared.
That game came out in like early like 2011, 2010 or something, and it just got revamped, I think in like 2017-ish or something like that. And like, dude, the game, like, it's still pixelated and everything, but it's like more of a story than what it was as a short. I love itch.io for horror games like that because they are great short stories. But I love it and I hate it because I see the potential of what these short horror stories people, like for example, my favorite short horror story person is Chilia's Art. Chilia's Art, which are 2 Japanese brothers. You see me play games on live stream with them. They're 2 Japanese brothers that just make these short story games that are like horror, dude. I love it because they take the PlayStation 2 style of it. With that being said, though, I even talk to my wife all the time. When's the next Chilia's Art game coming out? When's the next Chilia's Art game coming out? And they do. They make like 3 or 4 a year. But with that being said, I always revert to my wife. Like, if Chilia's Art actually took the time and made a full game, what's the potential?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what about you though? Like with your first question.
So gaming industry from growing up. 2 points. One, I was raised on playing a computer game that was an adventure game, a point and click, right?
Okay.
Where you had to press the space bar. I played this live, actually. It was King's Quest IV. As a kid, I could only get so far. But I just loved exploring and pressing the space bar and typing in the word look. And I would try to read, as a kid, again, like 5, 6 years old, with the attention span of like, you know, a 5 or 6 year old, what was happening in the game? What was the story? Why were we here today? You know? Right. And now as an adult, I was just like flying through the game, and they never revamped it. I mean, there's like, you know, communities out there that want that particular video game to be updated, much like our beloved Silent Hill 2 has been. But then there's like Mario, and watching the iterations of different Mario games. Like the first time Mario was in 3D, I will never forget the N64 coming out. And
Dude, my thing real quick on the N64, my childhood game on that I will always remember is not only Mario 64, but Ocarina of Time, Zelda.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Majora's Mask, dude. Nah, mine was Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same here. Definitely that, and then like I will say that the Super Nintendo, I had a Super Nintendo, and I was a little bit of like oh wait, what was this question? Have you ever played Lemony Snicket's oh, I know the author, Lemony Snicket. He did the series of unfortunate events books.
Oh no, I had never heard of this.
Yeah. Okay, so they're also movies, and I highly recommend it if you ever able to get your hands on either of those. They're very good. Oh, I didn't know that he
They only made games.
games too. That's interesting because all I know is a series of unfortunate events. It's actually a pen name. It's not really a real person. It's Ratatrophic, you know? Like,
what I would like to
blue-eyed.
Hello. Now, what I would like to continue on with my little rant real quick
sure.
is there's some games that I look forward to for a remake, and there's some that I'm like scared to play as a remake, and it's just because what it holds into me. So back to your first question with me is this you know, how can I see it going in the near future and everything is basically like, for example, Clock Tower. Everybody knows the classic old horror game Clock Tower. I mean, I never personally played the original one. I've seen gameplay of the original one. It's just like what you said. It's a point and click horror game, you know, because it was made on the computer. I think it was 98. Maybe I'm a little biased there. You know what? Nah, let me get my facts straight here. Hold on. Let me just Clock Tower. Oh, well, apparently you gotta type in the video game because if not, there we go. Clock Tower. So it was made in 95. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So 95. Did you know that they remade it ending of last year? They did remake Clock Tower. Yeah. So it's one of those games though that I want to buy, but I hate to say it. Do we leave it in the past?
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I never bought it because on Steam, it's $20 right now. And no offense, a $20 game that was made in 95, and if it's still the point click style game, which typically it should be to keep the original bit of it, is it worth $20?
Well, so like,
you know?
Okay, I'll put it like this. There's a company, same like computer game, video game, point and clicks, you know. There's a company called Sierra from the Sierra Mountains here in California.
Okay.
And they were like pioneers of just basic video games, you know?
Right.
Type west to go west, you know, and then just be a picture, you know, like Oregon Trail stuff, right?
Oh, dude, Oregon Trail's a classic. They also revamped that game too.
Right, but could you see like the Oregon Trail being like Red Dead Redemption style?
Oof. I'm not gonna lie. Me personally,
that would be banging.
I would be interested in it, but I don't think I would jump on the bandwagon as in buy it day one. I would have to look at reviews. You know what I'm saying?
So you could see where like the Oregon Trail classic, if it was being sold for $20, I kind of get why the developer hasn't updated it
right
with today's graphics or anything like that. Like, I get it, but also it's like, yeah, well, it's only $20. First and foremost, a new game is about $60, $70.
$70 now.
Yeah, and it's just going up, right?
Yep.
So $20 isn't really a big ask for a game from
no, absolutely not.
30.
But this comes back to what I was talking about, though. Mm-hmm. If it's still the same game, which it should be,
Yeah.
From, let's just say 95, I know Oregon Trails might be a little bit older than that, right?
Way older than that. Yeah.
So is it worth the $20 for newer story / newer graphics, but the same point and style click?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Because like
Okay.
we spent about
We spent $90 fucking dollars on it. What do you mean?
we spent like we spent $90 on James Sunderland having one wooden stick and a gun.
No.
game.
Two mask. Don't you forget about those. Remember the pyramid head, man?
That was the bonus stuff. I said what I said. I said what I said.
But yeah.
Yeah, like past purchases aside, point is that we didn't have as many weapons in Silent Hill 2 the remake as we did the OG game.
And if you don't mind me kind of commenting on that real quick. I know this isn't about Silent Hill 2, but I just got to throw this out here. Right. The one thing that kind of is cool but upsets me is they didn't bring the sprays back.
Yeah.
And you beat the game once and you get the chainsaw, and that's pretty much like a one-shot. Well, it is a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
It's not really rewarding. I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry. You can continue on.
I get it. Because I'm...
It'd be more rewarding as in, oh, you beat it again. Okay, here's a white spray. Oh, you beat it again. Here's the purple spray. Oh, you beat it again. Now you get the instant kill spray. Instead of, hey, you beat the game. Thank you. Here's the chainsaw. It kills everything in one hit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have added a chainsaw and the sprays. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, it's also been like almost half a year.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out October.
And I'm just surprised that they never came out with the director's cut side quest.
A lot of people are talking about that. You're in the same groups as I am, but a lot of people are talking about it.
Right.
They got all these updates happening, but no free DLCs or nothing. Absolutely. Cheers. Real quick, before we continue on our story, Sean, what are we drinking on tonight?
I don't remember what I put into the decanter, but I'm on whiskey tonight, guys.
Ooh. I'm a I hate my life thing. And we're drinking 8% of lemon lime smash it. So
what is a smash it?
It's if you hate your life. Oh no, I'm joking. Smash it is so Smirnoff's harder drink, by the way. So you know, you have like your Smirnoff ices and everything. It's their harder stuff. So this is 8%, and it comes in a.
So what I'm hearing from you is
it's a Four Loko. It's a Four Loko.
It's a glorified Four Loko.
Yeah.
Not even the real Four Loko.
Did you say I like it hard?
That's what I heard.
Damn. I love it. Let's
rewind that a little bit and go back to
this pod, dude. People that are tuning in are like, huh? Nah, this podcast is awesome. I love it. Welcome back, Sean. Can we just say this right now? Welcome back, dude.
Yeah,
this is our second podcast for the season, man. And I'm happy to be back. I miss it.
I do too.
I
loved last year. I loved
Oh yeah, it was so weird. After it ended, my wife was even on the schedule. So you have your podcast tonight, right? I was like, no, today is a normal streaming day.
Yeah. Boyfriend unit was doing the same thing too.
Really?
And I was like, nah, dude, we're good for the year.
Yeah.
He's like, are you sure?
Yeah, my wife was like, how long? Like, is this like 2 weeks? 3 weeks? And I was like, nah, like January. Moving on though. Sorry, we got a little off.
Oh yeah, you're fine. So
back to what you were saying with the whole Oregon Trail point to click games getting revised.
I don't think it's a bad problem if games get revised, but like the soul of it is still intact. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, even like thinking about like like Atari games from back in the day. You could never have had. I don't know if anybody really thought. I remember this. I remember a documentary from back in the day that. Well, we grew up with the Satanic Panic. Remember that when we were kids?
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that, but I definitely went through that. I know some of you people out there saw that. Pokemon was from the devil. Harry Potter was a witch.
I remember
book.
that. Yep.
What else was?
Kiss was a satanic
Oh yeah,
name.
that we.
Which I'm sorry, I hate to say it, Kiss fucking sucks. I would never get that from them, but that's just me.
Detroit Rock. So yeah, like video games when they first started coming out, people were so upset about video games taking up the time and money because of the arcades.
App.
And it actually took a president to jump onto the television.
Mortal Kombat at that
radio. Time. No, before all that.
Oh, before all that.
We're talking like Galaga.
Oh, okay. So that
we're talking Pac-Man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're talking like Donkey Kong. Like, it took a president to jump onto television and tell people on the television screen that video games are integral and should be incorporated into like normal day of life, because guess what the military uses for training? Video
Simulators.
games. I kid you not. Before I went on my first deployment, I had to play a PlayStation 2 graphic video game at work.
Everywhere does, well, I shouldn't say everywhere. Police Academy does simulators, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this video game was where you're in a truck, and then like an IED explodes, and then you get captured by terrorists.
Oh my God, what the fuck is going on?
It gets better. It gets better because this is a training.
You get to find out what waterboarding feels like now.
You're not wrong.
What?
Yeah. So they train you on this. So
oh my.
So you can't move, but your mouse makes you look around, right? And you're staring in front of a terrorist, and he's grilling you as to like, you've been captured. You got to say these things, and we won't take no for an answer. And it tells you like things you say and things you don't want to say, and then like you select whatever answer you want.
The outcome is what happens.
But if you select the wrong answer, the terrorist goes, boom, like that, and slaps you. Right? Until you make the right answer. Because it's checking to see that the game's like, checking to see if you like.
What are you under? Because we just talked about this off stream, but it happens in the other thing. How are you under certain situations? Pretty much. I forget.
Oh, me?
No. That I was just saying, like, this is what it tests you on: is how do you react?
Oh yeah.
And I forget. I'm saying the wrong stuff, but you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, it's the same thing in the other culture what I was just telling you about, because they want to see how you react in certain situations.
Essentially.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So, come to find out, like after that, you get sent to your room, and then you have to learn how to knock on like walls.
What?
To, like, talk to other inmates in other rooms.
So like Morse code.
So there's like a whole alphabet system.
Wow.
Of like knocking, and you have to. Yeah, it was a whole thing. So we got out. we got saved. And these were like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 graphics.
I love it.
Like that weird edge between the two.
Triangle boobs.
Detail, but just very much like Lara Croft's velvet face was definitely there. And then like it gave you like a rating of like how well you did, and I walked away from that video game training opportunity with remember the movie Goonies?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the part where Chunk gets like abducted by the bad guys?
Right.
And they're like, they have his hand in a blender And they're like, tell us everything.
Yeah.
Apparently, I will tell everybody everything from
Oh
kindergarten
my God.
to like second grade to like
Man,
high school, middle school, my first crush, my first breakup, like
Jesus Christ.
my first, like, I will tell terrorists everything about me. Like,
That's
I'll tell them what I had for breakfast.
Why am I even here? That's crazy.
But it took video games back in yonder days, a president to have to say like, "Hey guys, stop losing your shit over video games. Like these are going to
Right.
be like pretty useful later on."
Beneficial.
And then who knew that? Yeah, right. And all the different genres and things like that. I could never see. I never would have thought that like between the Atari, the NES, a Packard Bell for gosh sakes, I could never think that like technology was going to advance in such a way that like it's practically real.
I was gonna say, if 23 years ago a future me came to me while I was playing Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 2, enjoying my time as a kid, if future self me came to me at that point and was like, "Hey, they're gonna remake this game, and you're not gonna believe what it turns out to be." Because by the way, if you guys haven't played Silent Hill 2 remake, great success. That is like one of the few remakes that has been done and has been done absolutely right. And I hate to keep on talking about Silent Hill in each one of these podcasts, but it's such a great community slash topic to talk about.
Yeah.
With that being said, if a future self me came to past me and past me and was like, "Hey, they're gonna make this game and it's gonna be exactly how you see it, but better graphics," I couldn't believe it. Just because
Yeah.
oh my God. I mean, the graphics back then is just so they were just so realistic. And then there's a lot of games, and this is where it pisses me off that when it comes to remakes, is they remake some games that deserves remakes, and then they don't remake games that deserve remakes. And it's just like, then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna remake this game," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'm not gonna buy it / play it." Out of all the games that we have played back on early 2000s, why are we remaking this when these deserve remakes? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm using Silent Hill 2 here, because we're talking about a game that was made in 2001 that just got remade in 2024. And holy fuck, dude. Like,
remember when they like, but in like the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3?
oh yeah, the 3 era, they had the HD collection.
The HD release, the collection.
I really don't count that as a
And
remake,
about,
though, you know?
Yeah, I'm not like, well, actually, yes and no.
It is.
And here's
it
why.
is.
So,
But no.
like, it is, but no. And here's why. So, there was, I remember they did Devil May Cry.
Classic, by the way.
HD release.
Devil May Cry 3. Out of all the, I gotta throw this out here just because you just opened up a whole childhood of me. Devil May Cry 3 specifically needs a fucking remake. Fuck all the others.
Yeah.
Fuck everything else. Devil May Cry 3 till I die. That's one.
I'm trying to remember one that I did play. I wonder.
Probably
I don't
3
remember
because it's the best fucking one out there.
They all confuse me.
Yeah,
because
they
they're
are.
all wearing red jackets. They all have swords.
They're all named Dante.
And guns. And they're all, yeah. And at one point,
That
someone gets a gauntlet.
also reminds me, because I even talked to my wife about this the other day. A game that I think that needs remade, Dante's Inferno. Dante's Inferno was that shit, dude.
So, about that. So, the boyfriend unit and I just played Dante's Inferno.
Oh, shit. Yo, that's a classic, dude.
But you know what's really crazy about that is it leaves on like, it's a 3-part story. And they left on a like cliffhanger at the end of the video game because there's Inferno, There's the Purgatory mountain that he goes to.
Right.
Like every single part of
There's 7 levels of hells. Yeah.
Right. But like for Purgatory, there's like 7 levels of that, and then after that he goes to heaven. And then there's areas of heaven that he goes through in the 3rd book. But Inferno is the one that, like, even though it's an allegory and it's a comedy and it's a complete like farce of Christianity, but also a play on
very demonic, dude.
Like, yeah, it was fictitious. But you know how
what's crazy?
Like, I was gonna say, you know how many like things come from Dante's Inferno that people like swear are in the Bible, and I'm like, no, dude, that's not
what's
thing.
Crazy is 2 parts of that I was gonna get onto. I don't want to really get on a religious topic, but real quick. 1, do you know when Dante's Inferno was made?
Oh, the video game?
Yeah, no, the actual book.
Oh yeah, like
way ago. The fight. Yeah.
Way back.
No, what's crazy about that though, on top of that, is nobody could find the original book. But do you know how much the original book is worth if you could find it? People are sworn up and down that it's buried somewhere. But yeah, the original is millions. And I was like, holy fuck, dude.
Millions dollars.
Literally. So that, but the game though, like, you don't even need to read the book because there is a book about it. I never read the book, but the game is so fucking awesome. Well, actually, deserves a remake, in my opinion.
If you played the game, you got contos of from the actual story.
Yeah.
In the load screens, and I always thought that was really cool because I was pointing it out to the boyfriend unit, going like, "Oh hey, that's from the book. Oh hey, that's from the book. Oh hey, that's from the book."
But it just reminded me because of Devil May Cry, because I had that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 combo type shit. Like,
you know, I feel like that game suffered so much from EA. 1, it's EA, and then 2,
oh god, what's it EA? I didn't even realize that.
Game.
Oh my god. That's so crazy.
We're already prejudging because it's EA Sports. It's in the game. Also, like, it kind of suffered from like that weird zeitgeist of everyone wanting to be God of War.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it was. Because God of War 1, 2, and 3 was already out.
Yeah.
When that game was made, so.
Yeah, and there was like that one chick who had like the blades.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? Yeah.
Yep.
It suffered from that zeitgeist, but I do agree. 1, remake Dante's Inferno. 2, finish up the trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's stopping you? I don't know.
Moving on real quick, is there any other game that you think that really deserves a remake or would like to see a remake because of the past, since we're on that topic?
You know, a lot of the Sierra games, well, actually, I take it back because it kind of did that, and it was kind of like a design choice.
Right.
There's a series called King's Quest, and I personally like King's Quest 4.
I never played it, but I have seen it.
Yeah, and like the first one, like they kind of did like a reimagining, much like how you're playing Silent Hill Shattered Memories. It's a reimagining of the first game, right? So you got the main basic characters, but like it's all remixed in a different kind of way. And so I would just like to see maybe King's Quest 4. You know, it was one of the stronger games from that time period. They nailed down the riddles. They nailed down the story, the adventuring. Like, they really were ahead of their time because, like, King's Quest 2, like, there was a timer sequence. So if you were, like, you're a prince who's enslaved to a wizard, and so like every 4 minutes, if you don't get back to the castle or to the wizard's house, then the wizard would show up and he would kill you like right there, and you have to start all over again.
And see, that's why I love about that's why I love, as I mentioned here before, Chilia's art and everything, and love like that classic PlayStation 2 style games. Because I hate to say it, and I had this conversation with my wife before, is like I feel like the old PlayStation 2 horror games, there was more to do in the story than just to go to point A to point B, continuing the story. Where that's why I love Chili Azar. I'm going to throw him in here again because it's more like, okay, here's a horror game. This is the storyline. And when to get to the ending of the story, you have to branch off. And like, for example, it's more like, Chilia's art is normally like simulation. So it's like, oh, you're working at a coffee shop. So go grab a cup, read how you have to make said coffee, and then go make the coffee. And then so it's just like, okay, so you grab these kind of beans, you gotta add this kind of filler, you gotta put it in the little thing, the dispenser, it like dispenses out the coffee, boom, that's what you made. Such as what I was just recently playing, Happy Humble Burger Farm. That's why I kind of love that style of PlayStation 2 game, because it was more of, hey, here's a patty, throw it on the grill. Hey, there's this, you know, put the patty together. You had to do like those little things on PlayStation 2 classic horror games to even proceed on with the story. And that's why I kind of miss the classic horror stuff compared to newer horror stuff, because now it's just like, hey, here's a horror game. You're walking down the alley, you know, something happens. Oh, jump scare. Yeah, and then it's like, okay, now you go through that door, maybe grab this item because you need it, then continue walking. I feel like it's just more now a point A to point B instead of point A to A plus to A minus to A back to plus, and then you get to B. Which me personally, I prefer that, and that's why I miss the PlayStation 2 games, and that's why I love Julia's art, because it's like, grab the broom, now sweep up this floor. Holy shit, why does that person look at me right there? Like, where did you come from? You know,
it
like
reminded me of like the era. We're using the word era these days. The era of walking horror simulators.
That's it. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to describe. Yes, you know? Walking simulators, man.
Like, I'm burned out.
That's why I love Mortuary Assistant, which I highly advise you to play, by the way. Is because it's a walking simulator. You don't die in the game. It's just more of you just do your job duties. And if you just so happen to look in that certain corner, you notice somebody's just over here like staring at you. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
And I miss those kind of games. And moving on to our next part of the podcast is, where do you see these games? I mean, unless you're all done. Are you all done?
I have like actually one more thing to ask.
Oh, no, go for it. Go for it. Sorry.
What about the pitfalls and success of what we have learned, or what we've experienced? We're the consumers. We're not really like game developers in any way, shape, and form. And however, I will say I have tried once. I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever tried making your own video game?
God, no. I've looked into it, and I've seen what all you gotta do, and I was like, yeah, that's not me. Like, I have the ideas. I can't do it. Just kind of how we were talking outside of streaming. How I told you how I struggle with this so much and blah, 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 when we were just talking. That's why I don't do it.
No, it's easier is learning how to build D&D campaigns. Short little stories are just meant to be for just like a couple of hours between you and your friends playing board game. And then like, that's it, you know?
Right.
And like, you can build your world, you can build your lore, you build like all the things, and then after that, the chaos is what you choose to do.
Oh shit.
As long as it's within the narrative, and I have to figure out like 8 other options in case you decide to pick up a broomstick, you know? So with that being said, like, that's what I took that idea and I was like, well, let me look into like Game Maker, or like, you know, make like a little guy who could jump up and down off platforms or things like that, like just fun things. And like, that is not my strong suit.
No. I was gonna say, you opened up a core memory for me. Around 2014 to 2013, I got my like first gaming PC, and I went through a huge phase of game developing.
Yeah.
And it was like the whole like you get a flat playing ground and you could build mountains, throw trees on it, have a road, have your little dude design your dude, jump up, like you said, jump up and down, do everything. And
Yeah.
I went through a huge phase where I used to spend like actual money to like try to do it. And then I was like, yeah, this isn't me. So
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, I used to
I
do
mean,
a lot.
I think it was called Game Maker. I think
See,
that
mine was
the
Game Factor or
Game
something like that. I still have it on my Steam, bro. I'm about to look it up while you talk.
Yeah, this was
I
like
think it's
supposed to
called
be
like
a
Game
free
Factory. No, this was like I had to
program.
buy it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I was that dedicated. I went through a phase of this, man.
Wow. Yeah, you're more of a gamer than
Yeah,
I am,
here it is.
because,
It's
like,
Access Game Factory AGF Pro V3. It's $10 on Steam, but there's also different other things that you could buy with it. Like this one's $30. This one's $15. And it's funny because it actually has mixed reviews right now, so I can only imagine what you say like it's dog shit.
dude, no, you're fine, because like I used to download on like a monthly basis Acid Pro
Yeah.
for like
If you're
it was,
fucking working with Unity and shit, oh my god.
right. No. So Acid Pro was a music DAW, right?
Right.
And it would be open for you to use for 7 song sessions. So you could open it, you can make 7 different songs, but like once you render them, that's it. After those 7, you have to re-download it and then get a new key to unlock the next demo, right?
So this guy real quick said, Game Factory does not make games. It's a more of a level design tool, a really good level design / world design tool, Unity based game. And by the way, he has over 200 hours on this and he thumbs down it. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say on there. He wrote like a whole review. So yeah, that's what I got into. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I stumbled on creating video games. Like, what would it take to make like a platformer or something like that? And
Right.
I was just like, I just want to make like a cat that just like jumps and like does cat things. And I just quickly learned, like, yeah, no, I'm just a consumer, but like the pitfalls of games that we have seen the industry go through, a couple of which I personally feel like I've seen come from like a mile away, was like, again, the walking simulators, like how saturated that got after 2014.
Right.
The way that video game developers just completely walked away from their base camp and went into like making like pachinkos or like
Right.
gambling games or something like that. And like, I don't want to say we're on a success swing up, but I mean, like, why walk away from a community that is looking at you and saying, hey, make a thing, and then go almost 20 years with nothing, just dry.
Right.
Like,
I
don't
could say the
understand.
same a lot about Rockstar games. Like normally I'm not all about Rockstar games. But that being said, like, you know, I'm all about, you know, GTA, Red Dead and all that, like classics, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
But with that moving on, is this more of I would love to see a Manhunt remake and a Bully remake, because those games, man, they just hold it, and even till this day, like they have the potential there. I'm like, why don't we revamp these games, you know? But
What was that one you mentioned last season? The one where like you just wake up and you're just like murking people.
oh, dude,
Like, in
Hatred.
black and white.
Hatred. That game's just fucked.
Could you see Hatred with like?
What's up?
Could you see Hatred with like Unreal Engine and things like that?
Yeah, dude, that'd be messed
That would be
up.
lit. That would be like if they were
Actually
complaining
colored.
back then about it.
Sorry, my wife just came in.
You're fine. Hi, wife.
Dude, Sean said hi. Yeah, no, you're good. Go through it. Yeah, you're good. Okay, she didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, see, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, she didn't want to be in the picture.
You're fine.
No, so yeah, hatred though. That would be. Ooh, that'd be brutal. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I hate to say it. Like, I would love to see it, but that would be kind of hardcore, man.
Wouldn't it? That would be freaking epic. I don't know.
I love giving people that game, by the way, because it's like a $5 game. By the way, guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, we mentioned this game before in our podcast. I'm not going to go too much detail with it, but my favorite thing to do, but it's a very fucked up, serious game. With that being said, my favorite thing to do, though, Sean, is when people buy their very first or build their very first gaming PC. I've done this to 3 guys already. That's the very first game I will gift them is hatred. So they'll be like, what the fuck? And it's funny to see the reaction every single time, though. It's just like they'll come up to me at work or they'll message me on Facebook like, what the fuck? And I'll but they'll even tell me like, I kind of enjoyed it, and I don't know if that's a good thing or yeah.
Well, so it's kind of like rage rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is, man, because that's what I do. Sometimes if depending on what mood I am, and I'll play fucking Suicide Silence or some death metal, I'll just play that game.
Yeah.
We're talking about hatred,
It's
by the way. She's seen the game. She said, you have problems.
We do have problems. Some of which the VA will not pay me for.
Moving on to our last subject,
you see
though.
The video games,
yeah.
Where do you see it going in the near future? Like, for me, like, I remember being a kid and watching, like, Star Trek, where, like, I know you're not a Trek head.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We've mentioned this in our previous live stream or podcast.
But in canon, in Star Trek, there's a room, and it's, like, gridded. It's a black room with yellow lines, and they just say, "Computer, turn on this program," and the whole room transforms into like VR. Like, who knew that like VR was going to be a thing?
Yeah, VR is crazy.
I can't play VR.
Really?
I get vertigo. Oh god. No.
Really?
No.
That's crazy.
Like, there's this game. It's like golfing, essentially.
Yeah.
And you can click and you can zoom out and see where your ball is like flying, but you're like looking top down. So I'm like seeing the world down below going like this. I'm going to I like my knees buckled underneath me because like I believed for a moment there that I was up in the sky.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I found out I could play VR for like 3 hours, and then after 3 hours, I started getting a headache.
Oh, you're a lot better than me. The first time I played a VR game, I don't know if it's really considered VR, but do you remember the Star Wars one where you like lightsaber and you fight the thing, but you can still see yourself in like the same room that you're in.
Right.
So I don't know if that's really VR.
I mean, but isn't,
Yeah. But yeah, I guess, yeah. Hologram?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I have seen people play Resident Evil 5, or not 5, 6, Biohazard.
Oh, no, 7.
Or 7, sorry. God, I can't keep the numbers straight. But I've seen people play that game.
That game in VR is like, fucking intense.
I can't even.
I'm not gonna lie. I played through. By the way, me personally, best Resident Evil out there. But that game in VR is a whole different thing. That's like when because we're in the same communities on social media. That's like when I see people saying like, "Oh, let's make Silent Hill 2 in VR." I'm like, yes, but no. Like that would be different.
Yeah, that's a horse of a different color.
Yeah. In the near future, though, It's one of those things like me personally, I can't picture things. That's why I don't really like reading, because when you tell me like an object or something, I can't like picture it. So this topic is kind of really hard for me, just because the fact of like, if you tell me in 2050 Silent Hill 2 is getting remade again, I'd be interested. But it's more like, what else can we do with it? Like,
Well, so like
besides
imagine
graphic
if you're
wise, you know?
well, so like imagine if you're like immersed into the story where like you're actually you begin
Ooh,
in the
here we go.
bathroom, and you can visually see and interconnect and
Oh
touch,
man, you're on a
like,
whole nother
in
level.
Star
I
Trek.
love it.
In Star Trek, that's an actual room,
Right.
a hologram room, right?
If that actually fucking
And-
happened, I'll cry.
Right.
I will fucking cry, dude. If I see one of them doll thingies coming after me, I'd drop right there.
I think like no, like dead serious, like the oh
This is
It
what
goes back
fucks
to the
me
first time I
over
played this
though,
game.
is us like, when we first played this game back when it came out in 2001, not on release date, at least not for me, because obviously
Yeah.
I was 2 years old. But
I was
but you know, let's revert back to that real quick. When you first see the mannequins in the original game, they just pause on sight. You know, if you didn't have your flashlight, they were just like there. But then in the remake, they made them where they like hit against the wall, and then it'll be like bah, you know. So it's one of those things like, I would have never imagined that's what they were going to be when I played this remake.
right.
So
Or like they crawl the freaking wall.
yeah, I would have never guessed that. Which, again, great touch, by the way. And I'm not dissing on it, but it's one of those things like, so where do we see gaming in the future? It's like, I just don't really know, because what all can we really do? Like, and again, I'm gonna take Silent Hill 2 again. Like, besides updating the graphics, what else can we do with said monsters slash? What else can there be?
It relies on like where technology can take us,
Exactly.
you know? Like, could we like have like a screen? Well, that'd be VR, I suppose. But like, if you walk into a room and the whole room can play like the movie or the video
Ooh.
game in 3 dimensions, like that, right?
Yeah.
Or
Where you're actually walking down something, it's actually like moving your room type stuff.
right,
Here in one
yeah.
spot. Whack.
Yeah. Like that would be so cool. Like a hologram room would be super cool. But
Now, could you
I
imagine
get
hearing
why-
the sirens come off and you see your walls peeling off? Fuck that. I'll end the game right there.
I think like the moment
Imagine mortuary assistant with that kind of shit. You got me fucked up.
yeah, like
I'll turn around. There's just somebody standing right there. Nah, I'm good.
yeah, like but that's the thing is like the exploration in Star Trek is that like the reason why it's a recreation room. So
Right.
you can use it for anything. You know, you could be a sports, you could play you could let your anger out, it could be a destruction room, it could be whatever you want, it could be a training room.
Right.
And it's also like you could turn on like a book and be a character in a book
Okay.
and interact with the book characters, but also like either play to like the narrative or the narrative adjusts to the way that you're playing, you know?
Right.
And I think that's a really cool idea, but I would like to hope and think that that's where video games will go, or that's where like entertainment will take us, because like no one saw streaming television
What it is
back in the
today.
90s.
Yeah. That's kind of reminds me of the whole like topic of people like, you know, you guys seen the memes probably of like, oh, in 1993 and 2023 we'll have flying cars, and then it'll like show like
Right.
this. You know. So it's like one of those things that's how I feel like this topic is, and that's why the second part of this topic, at least to me, is really hard to talk about, because I feel like, oh well, in 2050 we could have flying cars, but in reality we'll just have another Tesla truck, like. You know,
I've seen like 4 of those things. I
I've
think,
seen
around
2.
town.
I've seen 2. I was like, oh man,
Oh.
you actually spent money on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I'd rather buy a GTR than that, but that's just me.
I wouldn't even. No, there's no. It's not a truck. It's not a truck. I'm sorry. There's nothing.
Imagine farm use on that bad boy.
It's so weird looking. It literally looks like a weird tank driving by me. Something like straight out of like a Hollywood movie, and I'm like, this isn't the future. This is like. I feel like the people who drive those cars, like that particular car, they're like in the N64 days because it's so angular.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
It really is, dude. Not only that,
like,
though,
bro.
it's one of those things, though. It's just like kind of what we're talking about with our game topic and everything. It's just like, okay, people who had like an 89 car, you know, you had a turnkey, you had a separate key for the trunk or whatever. Could you imagine 30 years from now that would be produced? I mean, let's talk about it.
Could you imagine? Not only that, but like, I mean, people didn't have beepers.
Exactly. No seatbelts in cars.
No.
That was the thing. The headlights was on the floor. Yeah, click it.
Right. Yep. Yep. Or like the brake, the e-brake was actually like a stick.
Yeah.
Or like something you had to pull.
Yeah, instead of a lever.
Like, yeah.
Or a pedal. My bad.
I suppose, like, to wrap it up, it's like, when it comes to the future of video games, well, yeah, obviously a lot of it has to deal with, like, technology advancing and things like that, but, like, I'd be down for a very immersive
Oh, absolutely.
experience. Not one that's VR.
Mine's more of what is the cost
but
of this?
immersive.
Because are we talking like 15 grand plus? You know what I'm saying, to have like these things hooked up? I imagine, you know what I'm saying. But then again, every year, cost of living goes up. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, that's a touchy topic, and that is a great cliffhanger to end, or at least to end on for you guys. Is like,
sure.
What can you talk about and everything? My thing is also, where's Unity gonna be? Because we got Unreal Engine 5 already. So like, are we gonna be on Unreal Engine 16, or is it gonna be like iPhones where it's gonna be X, Unreal Engine 11V, you know, like.
But also, like, well, shoot, I had a thought. 1 second. It was,
Cost of living,
Oh, no, well, yeah, there was that, but I was like, maybe it's not so much of a home-based thing, but also maybe, like, you go out to some place that has, like, rooms.
Okay.
You know, like, arcades, but, like, you rent a room to do, like, a couple of hours
That'd be cool.
of...
Look, we're giving engineer people... We're giving engineer people topics right now, and I just want to say I at least want 25% of this equity. That's all I'm going to say, because we're giving you guys some great
$1 million ideas, right?
$1 billion, you kidding me?
Seriously, like a whole industry. Freaking, speaking of, I'll talk offline about this because I have $1 million idea that I have been sitting on since I was like 26 years old.
Bet.
I've never seen it happen.
We're about to make it happen.
But I think I know the reason why it would never be a real thing.
Oh, okay, never mind.
We'll save that for ourselves. Point is, audience questions, comments for the future episode. Of course, we would love to hear from you guys about what you think about just...
Yeah, it's kind of like how us, like, we're starting now. You know, what the future holds of us. Is this going to be our full-time job, or are we still going to be doing this part-time stuff? Seriously, it's a brain idea. So with that being said, what you were going to talk about with the people out there who are listening, what do you think is the video game industry going to be in 30 to 50 years, and how do you see it going, and what do you see it producing?
Yeah, because clearly we're not streaming video games from like, what was that? Remember, like, when they were trying to stream video games to a console to play live? Like, clearly that technology didn't take off very
Right.
well.
Right.
So yes, we've had some clunkers, but be sure to like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment wherever you hear, wherever you see, wherever you get our podcasts, or even catch us live. We appreciate everyone who stopped by. Thank you to the moderators, to the listeners, to those who follow, those who sub. Thank you guys so much from both myself and Ratatrophic as well.
Absolutely.
Ratatrophic, where can people follow you?
All social medias. Right now, YouTube is Ratatrophic as RATATROPIHC. Wait, sorry, I just messed that up. CH, my bad. I had dyslexia. And same thing on Twitch as well, because we live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sometimes Saturday and Sunday. So look out for that.
Yeah. Well, for myself, there's the website seangraves.com or .net. I don't even know my own website at this point. But also for the podcast here, we have the evilhour.com. And let's see, there's the YouTube channel, there's the Discord, as well as Twitter, Sean Graves Music. Yeah, I mean, pretty much out there. I don't know what else I could do to tell people, like, hey,
Right. I feel you there.
here I am.
It's
like in the ever growing sea of the echo chambers of the internet. It's just hello.
Right. Same thing as what we were talking about. Where you see the internet going to? Is there going to be a new Facebook? Is Facebook going to become the old MySpace? That's that shit, man. That's why this topic I was so excited to talk about before we end it off now. That's why this topic I was so excited to talk about is just because the fact of there's this endless possibilities.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like there was endless possibilities back in the 1980s for this stuff. And with that being said, it's just is Facebook going to become MySpace? AKA it just dies off, sells out, and then there's going to be a new Facebook? So how do you think about games?
Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously. Because, Sega was a contender. Now it's not.
I would have never seen Mortal Kombat doing what it does now. I played the old arcade ones. And now it's you're fighting, and it's you punch them in the jaw for the third time, and it breaks their fucking jaw, and now you see the X-ray. And it's whoa, I would never have seen that 30 or 20 years ago. So
you're not wrong. It was almost 30 years ago for myself.
Oh yeah, me personally, but yeah. So let us know what you think about. Also, on top of that, don't forget, as we always, at least I always forget. Don't forget what we always talk about. If you guys have a topic that you want us to do a podcast on, make sure you let us know, and we will give you a shout out as well. We already done a couple already. I think we done 2, right? 2 people, yeah. 2 people gave us a topic to top out, and we killed it on that one, which is surprising because the 2 people who did that is actually our most successful viewership on YouTube. But so make sure that you guys go ahead and give us some topics to talk about for our next podcast that you guys personally want to hear. And on top of that, also give us your feedback on our previous podcast. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, make sure that you type in your thoughts and takes on where do you see gaming going from today to the near future, and how you think it relates to you and everything. So let us know how you feel about that.
Hell yeah, man. Next time we'll try to do the same thing we do every night, surviving. My name is Sean, and this dude over here, his name is...
I'm Ratatrophic / Dom.
Wishing you all the best till next time. Till then, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, don't pollute, and we will see you next time.
Later on, guys.
Unpleasant dreams.